Coach Agostino, the head basketball coach for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball.
It's time for Warriors Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Amityville Broadcasting Network. I'm Aaron Kruger with Christian Chicas. We are here in the Fred Williams Memorial Gym, and we are getting ready for this game today against the Amityville Warriors and the East Hampton Bonackers. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited for this game. I want to see a comeback come from East Hampton, because last game that we had with East Hampton and Amityville, East Hampton did lose that, but I want to see what they did in the offseason, and I want that to have a chance to shine in today's game.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Now, we're going to recap these last games. As you know, if you tuned in last Friday, you know that Amityville did unfortunately lose against Mount Sinai in the Fred Williams basketball tournament. It was a pretty close game, pretty exciting game if you were there. It was so much fun watching it, it was good basketball. But Amityville did lose to Mount Sinai 69-63, so only a 6-point margin. But it was a close game, and it was certainly a game.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some aspects of that game come into this game, especially on Amityville's side, where we saw their defense, them angling their bodies to push their opponents more outward, especially with the last game with East Hampton and Amityville. East Hampton's offense did have a lot of chances to shoot three-pointers. However, they were just unfortunate, and none of those three-pointers went in. Only a couple of them did. So I'm assuming that Amityville is going to go for a similar strategy this game and try to push them towards the outward, and we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Amityville did have a lot of three-pointers last game. Amir Dickerson had 6 three-pointers last game, leading his team in the scoring. And Flythe and Trellis also had a three-pointer in there. But I think we can see some good scoring today from Amityville because, Mount Sinai was a really tough team. And, they did lose to them. But it was a good game. As I said, Mount Sinai had some really good runs, especially in the beginning. But Amityville answered to that. And they closed the gap a lot of times. They came back. They almost came back a lot. They answered Mount Sinai's aggressive offense with their own aggressive offense. They were able to change their plays, change their game in order to adapt. They adapted to Mount Sinai's pressure and their full court press and everything like that. But Amir Dickerson sure had a good scoring game on Friday. He scored 34 points overall with 6 3-points and 8 free throws. He made a lot of good free throws, and I think not everyone made their free throw shots on Friday, so I think that that's certainly an area for Amityville to work on because those points can be pretty crucial to a game.
Yeah, looking at the game with Mount Sinai and Amityville, like you said, Amir Dickerson made 8 free throws, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those free throws might come into play again here today as we see if Amityville takes those free throws. But also, I expect to see the three-pointers. Like you said, Amir Dickerson made 6 three-pointers. I expect them to have more three-pointers this game or equal to the same amount of three-pointers. Because from what it looks like, East Hampton looks to be a lot more defensive team than Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai had a lot of chemistry playing offense, as you saw them passing across the court and controlling ball pressure. But East Hampton didn't seem to have that last game, unless they worked on it on the offseason. I'm expecting East Hampton to be a lot more defensive and look for those opportunities to score, but they're going to have a lot less opportunities than Amityville.
Mm-hmm. I agree. This is actually East Hampton's first game this season, and the last game that they played last season was against Amityville, so we can see maybe a difference in the team. So their last game against Amityville in February of last school year, was East Hampton lost to Amityville 66-39, so a pretty big margin, But we see last year Amir Dickerson scored 9 points for them, so we can see maybe he continuing that scoring.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see Amir Dickerson continue to put up points, but as we look at the game with Mount Sinai and the previous East Hampton versus Amityville game, Amir Dickerson didn't put up as much points as the East Hampton versus Amityville against the Mount Sinai versus Amityville. So I'm wondering, is Amir Dickerson's plan going to change because of the team? Because I'm assuming that they're going to adapt to this team. I'm assuming that they're going to play around the defense, play around the offense. And as I watched the last East Hampton versus Amityville game, I saw them keep consistently calling over screens to try to get points off. So I'm wondering if we're going to see similar strategies today or if we're going to see different ones.
I agree. I mean, certainly the team has changed since last season. As Coach Jack Agostino mentioned in last game and last coaches show, Amir Dickerson is certainly taking on more of a leadership role, as you know they did lose some pretty good seniors last year, and it seems that Dickerson is really stepping up, taking that role. As we saw on Friday, he was making a lot of good calls for his teammates and really, taking on that leadership role of a captain and just an overall great player.
Yeah, that's why I wonder primarily what is East Hampton's defense going to look like today? Because in their last game, they looked a lot more relaxed, but they looked to keep the pressure outside from center. And that was one of their main issues, where Amityville kept driving up the ball forward, and it seemed to be extremely effective against them because they just weren't prepared for it. So I'm wondering today if they're going to bring a different defensive tactic.
So, as we can see from the last game that East Hampton had, we see Foster scored 8 points, and 2 of which were free throws, no 3-pointers, but you see maybe he's now a junior, so we can see maybe some more points for him this game. As mentioned, this is their first game this season. We haven't seen them at all this season yet, so as far as we know, they could have made some really big improvements in the offseason.
Yeah, one of the key players I'm looking at for East Hampton this game, his name is Colin Kelly. He was really active in the previous game. Like, he was always trying to rebound. He was always passing it. He was just a good offensive player. However, like I said, it was just unfortunate that he couldn't score these points, although he missed a couple free throws. But this game, I'm expecting them to put on a lot more, especially from Kelly. I'm expecting more points. I'm expecting just a lot more from him in general because I'm assuming that they worked really hard on the offseason, and I don't think he would be one to slack on that.
I agree. I mean, with these games like that, I think we're going to see a really good game today, and right now we're going to go ahead and send it to our coaches show. I'm Erin Kruder with the Amityville Broadcasting Network, here with head coach Jack Agostino, here for a coaches show. So, how would you describe the team's overall mindset and mentality heading into the season?
I feel like it's really positive. Yesterday's practice was outstanding. It's good to see how a team reacts to, having a couple bad moments against Mount Sinai. Let's see how we react today. East Hampton will be a big challenge. We don't know anything about them. They have played 0 games so far this season. They have a new coach. We're going into this blinded, so hopefully we can figure it out pretty quickly.
So after a close game on Friday, your team ultimately fell short to the Mount Sinai Mustangs 69-63. What improvements can be made on the court in preparation for today's game?
Well, I wish you didn't remind me about Friday. Friday's over. I'm moving on to the next. That's something that you want to get better every day. Every day, you're on a journey. When you play on a sport, on a team, which you have, every day is different. So you want to get better each and every day. So our goal is to get better today from Friday.
So your team overcame 2 large deficits in Friday's game. What does that say about the character of the team that they didn't give up?
I think you said resilience, right? That somebody said that. That was a great line. That's exactly who we are. We're not going to quit. We're going to keep fighting. And that's the goal every game, is to fight as hard as you can. So hopefully we can do that again today.
So where does your team need to evolve in order to make a run at a championship this year?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I usually say that, but that's a hard question. I think we just need to get better every day. I think if we can really focus in practice, focus around the school, doing your schoolwork, I think that all goes together. Take care of any issues that you might have at home or in your social life. And if you can just put all your mindset into the game, I think great things happen that way.
And finally, what are your keys to today's game?
I wrote them down today, so energy and effort. Energy is the key because, again, you're coming off a really tough game. You have to come with that energy. So hopefully you have energy. Hopefully you have that energy and we'll be ready to go. Then we have to rebound the ball. If we rebound the ball, we run, fast break layups is always the key to our success.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Excellent job, you too. Amazing.
All right, welcome back once again to the Amityville Broadcasting Network. I'm Erin Kruder, Christian Chicas. Again, we are in the Fred Williams Memorial Gym, ready, and we're getting up for the matchup today against the Amityville Warriors and East Hampton Bonackers. Picking up where we left off. Last time Amityville faced East Hampton was East Hampton's last game of the season in February, and as we know, this is East Hampton's first game of the season, first official game. As we recently learned, they played a few scrimmages against small schools, but we don't know how those turned out, but some good off-season practice is key.
Yeah, as I'm looking at them right now, and I've heard that they're under a new coach, it looks like they're a lot more confident than last time that they played. As you see, they're doing layups and everything as they're warming up, but it really looks like that they're confident in their skills, they're confident in each other as they pass it around. They're just doing basketball drills.
And, you know, getting ready for today's game, they also played Amityville in January as well. Amityville did win that game as well, 74-59. And we see in that game, Amir Dickerson scored 17 points, and he got a three-pointer as well, as did Dejon Clinton, who also scored 7 points in that game. And they're both, again, on the team this year. They've been doing great. They did great in the game on Friday and in previous games as well. So I think we can see some good performances from them today.
Yeah, I was expecting that as well. I'm expecting some good performance from Amir Dickerson, from Duncan. I'm just expecting a great game today. I don't know what East Hampton's going to come in with compared to before now, because now as I looked at them play, it's just like an entirely new team. So I'm waiting for them to like perform and exceed our expectations that the crowd has, and as we have.
Yes, I mean, East Hampton did finish last year overall with an overall standing of 4-14. But as you said, you know, they could be a whole new team this year. We haven't seen any official performances from them yet. They have a new coach this year as well. So it's a whole new program. You know, we don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from them. I'm expecting a good offense because of Kelly's performance last season. But I'm also expecting a better defense this year. I don't know if they have any new players, but from what it looks like from the previous games, it looks like they were starting to get a good defense. Like they were establishing, they had the foundation and everything. They just needed to improve on their technique. And I believe that's what they did on their offseason. I believe they're improved on their defensive techniques. So maybe we'll see angling of the body more to push Amityville on the outside. Maybe we'll see some screens on the offensive side. So I would expect Kelly to call over one of his teammates to screen him so he could go for a three-pointer, because he was able to find those opportunities of three-pointers, but he just wasn't accurate. So I'm hoping that they get those points today. I'm hoping that he worked on that. And I'm just expecting a good offense and good defense from them.
In the game in January against East Hampton and Amityville, Toby Foster did have 4 three-pointers with a total of 17 points, and he is a junior this year. So again, with his young talent, we can expect to see a lot from him. And again, in the game in January, Mason Jefferson had 6 total points with 2 three-pointers, and Colin Kelly had 2 points, which, I mean, he's returning this year. He is a junior. So again, this young talent, we see a lot of the underclassmen taking charge on both teams and really getting big points on the boards for their team.
I feel like it's the underclassmen that put in the most work compared to the upperclassmen, because these underclassmen, they have dreams, they have aspirations, and they want to push forward their dreams, their aspirations. They want to make themselves stand out before they start applying into colleges. So I believe that that's what they're going to do. That's what they're trying on both teams, because Amir Dickerson is also a junior, and he's been performing extremely well this season. He's also performed well in previous seasons. But that's what I'm expecting. I'm just expecting these juniors to step up. Maybe some sophomores, if there are sophomores on the team. I'm expecting them to step up as well to make themselves more noticeable to the basketball world.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that if they're doing this good as sophomores, you know, scoring all these points on the board, and they're doing, as we've seen in Amir Dickerson, he's doing an amazing job as a junior, you know, top scorer for his team on Friday, and we haven't seen anything from East Hampton yet, but I think we can expect to see some good playing from Toby Foster.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting as well. So something I'm looking at here is I'm looking at the point difference between Amityville and East Hampton for January 17th. Amityville had 74 points, as East Hampton had 59 points. And comparing that to the other game, where East Hampton had 39 points and Amityville had 66, what do you think the point difference is going to be in this game?
You know, I think the score might get even closer because, you know, they're very similar, like, in gaps, but obviously there were more points scored overall in the January game than in the February game. So we can see that East Hampton, they did make an adjustment. You know, obviously it wasn't enough to ultimately close that gap, but you can still see that an effort was made to bounce back against this team. I'm a pretty great team, as we've seen before. They have good effort. They have a great team, and I think we can expect to see some good things from them today. As from East Hampton, as we mentioned before, it's basically a whole new team, a whole new program. We haven't seen anything from them yet this year, so I think we can expect today to be a pretty close game.
That's what I'm expecting as well. As my predictions for the first quarter, I think Amityville is going to start off with maybe a 6-point run, but I'm fully expecting East Hampton to come back and maybe tie the score or close the gap a lot more. Because in their previous game on February, I think it ended with Amityville near 19 points and East Hampton at 11 for the first quarter. So I'm expecting something similar to that, but I'm expecting the gap to be a lot smaller this time.
I agree. I think we might see a repeat of what happened on Friday, but switch it around, and Amityville will start off with a big scoring run, and East Hampton, you might see East Hampton trying to make an adjustment and catch up to that, but really the question is, will Amityville keep up that scoring run, or will East Hampton actually be able to catch up to that?
That's a good question. If you're asking me that question, I think Amityville will be able to keep a lead if they get one, but it's going to be a struggle. Like you said, this is a completely new team. We don't know much about them. So I'm expecting them to pull out something that we've never seen before. I'm expecting something unprecedented by them. Because, like you said, it's a completely new team, new coach. So Amityville really is going into this blind. We don't know what we're going up against. So I'm expecting that to throw us off a little bit. Because usually when you're preparing for a game, you'll watch some recaps of their previous matches. You'll study their techniques. But because it's a new coach, we really don't know anything about them. So I'm expecting that to throw Amityville off a good amount. They're going to come into this not knowing what to expect. I'm expecting them to play a lot more defensively because of that. They're going to be, I personally think, they're going to be a little more scared to push offensively, a little more scared to be explosive because they don't know what they're going up against, especially against their offense. Maybe Amityville's defense will struggle as we don't know anything.
I don't know about that, because I think, as we saw in Friday's game, Amityville was able to make big adjustments to their game and make comebacks offensively and really up their game defensively, in the middle of the game from quarter to quarter. You can see a difference, So I think that, obviously East Hampton has it might throw them for a loop. They're new. They have probably mostly new offense and new defensively, playing differently than they did last year. But I think that Amityville will most likely be able to make the adjustments needed to eventually to adjust and to fight back against them.
I think that is possible, or it is a possibility in this match. But I would like to keep my hopes up for East Hampton to win this match, because I like the idea of having a new team under a new coach. From my personal experiences of playing soccer, when you go up against a team you have no previous knowledge about, you have to play a lot more defensively. You have to be a lot more aware about everything, and that just adds on to the pressure of already being on the field. When you're already on the field, you're already thinking, you're already getting inside your own head. So if Amityville can keep their cool against this completely new team, then I could see a possibility of them winning. But I don't doubt that East Hampton is going to use that to their advantage, that nobody knows anything about them. So they might start off explosive, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a change of pace mid-game. So although being explosive may not be their best, this is just a prediction. Although being explosive may not be their best, if they slow down and play more naturally, then that might throw Amityville completely for a loop.
We're about 5 minutes out from the start of the game, so I want to ask you, Christian, what are your keys to today's game?
Keys? I'm expecting Kelly to put in some work on East Hampton's side. I'm expecting him to do good offensively. And for Amityville, I'm expecting Amir Dickerson to really step up to that leadership role. But just looking at them practice, I'm expecting 3-pointers. I'm expecting them to push center, and I'm expecting some good layups.
Thank you for tuning in. We're about to be right back with the game. Once again, I'm Aaron Kruder, Christian Chicas. We're on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home, You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you can't measure it on your bathroom scale. Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own. You won't find a bipolar disorder by looking at a thermometer. Like many other health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
After coming up short against Mount Sinai last Friday in the championship game of the Fred Williams Classic, the Amityville boys basketball team hosts a familiar opponent in East Hampton. The Bonackers opened up their year coming off a 4-14 campaign that included 2 losses at the hands of the Warriors. Will Amityville get back in the win column, or will East Hampton fish out their first victory of the year? Find out now on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Coach Agostino, the head basketball coach for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Basketball Network.
It's time for Warriors Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And good evening and welcome to the Fred Williams Memorial Gym on the Claude Beyer Court as we get set for tip-off between the Amityville Warriors and the East Hampton Bonackers. Matt Grice, Aaron Kruder bringing you the call of tonight's action right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We appreciate you spending your Tuesday evening here with us. We are a few minutes away from the opening tip, and this should be a fun game. 2 teams that have a history together, but a lot of new names this year for East Hampton. Also, they have a brand new coach as East Hampton comes in. On their first game of the season, head coach Dave Conlon making his debut. The assistant coach Thomas Nelson, he's been here for a while for the Bonackers. East Hampton has only had 3 exhibition games or scrimmages this year. They have yet to play a full real game. Amityville, meanwhile, tested early, coming off a loss against Mount Sinai, and you know they're itching to get back out there and try to get back in the win column.
Yes, I mean, that game on Friday, they unfortunately lost, as you said, but it was a pretty good game, and you can see that the Warriors really played their best, and you know Mount Sinai was just a really good team, but you can see that they did do their best, and they made a lot of comebacks, and they adjusted, and I think we see a lot of that in today's game as well.
The Amityville Warriors come in with a 1-1 overall record, and tonight they're looking to try to add some to the win column. Last year, you mentioned Amityville successful twice against East Hampton. Their first victory coming in December on December 6th. Or I'm sorry, that was last game. Their first win against East Hampton came January 17th. It was a 74-59 road win for the Warriors. And in that contest for Amityville, Amir Dickerson, 17 points in that one, including 8 free throws. And we're going to highlight Amir Dickerson a lot tonight as he is definitely the key for this Warriors offense.
Mm-hmm. As you mentioned before, he was in the list of the top 100 Long Island boys basketball players for this season. So we can see he's being recognized for his talent, and he did score 34 points last game on Friday, so we can expect to see a similar amount of points for today's game as well.
The second game that the Warriors played against East Hampton last year when they hosted them, 66-39 victory for the Warriors. Dickerson, 9 points in that contest. But let's take you through the starting lineups. We'll start with East Hampton. And we mentioned their head coach, David Conlon, assistant coach Thomas Nelson. This will be their first game of the season. Mason Jefferson, Toby Foster, Jack Mooney, Carter Dickerson, and Miles Manu will be the starting lineup today for the Bonackers. And for the Amityville Warriors, they come in with a 1-1 overall record. Head coach Jack Agostino, assistant coach Anthony Agostino, AJ Price, volunteer assistant coach for the Warriors as well. Let's get into the starting lineup for the Amityville Warriors. Number 0, Alan Dotson Isabel. Number 12, Takai Mason. Number 13, Dejon Clinton. Number 24, Amir Dickerson. And starting tonight, number 21, Mark Stewart, who did not play in Friday's contest. He was out for that contest. So the Warriors happy to be getting Mark Stewart's services back into the starting lineup. I think a key for tonight, Aaron, is getting better rebounds on the glass and more balanced scoring. Dejon Clinton was so good in the Warriors' first game of the season, pretty much kept off the score sheet for most of the game in game number 2. If he can bounce back and they can get a more balanced attack offensively, that's going to help Amityville not just today, but moving forward.
I agree. I mean, the rebounds is where they need to focus on, definitely improve on, because, you know, once they need to get more points on the board, they need to improve after Friday's game. They need to keep the ball within their own hands. There were a lot of turnovers in Friday's game for both teams. It goes both ways, and I think it attests to their want for the ball, their want for the game, you know.
It should be a lot of fun. Last year, Toby Foster had a big game against Amityville, 17 points against them in one game, 8 points in another in the 2 losses. So that'll be a player to keep an eye on. But right now, we are going to step aside for the singing of our national anthem.
By the dawn's early rise, what so proudly we hailed, at the twilight's last gleaming, whose strong stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
He's kind of.
O'er the ramparts we marched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in. They proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nice job, Gerald Asbell, singing the national anthem live for us here tonight. And we are set to get underway. It's Warriors and Bonackers as the two teams get their final pep talks from their coaches. And we'll head out here in just a moment. Pretty good crowd on hand here as fans from both schools are in attendance tonight. 8 minutes is on the clock. Referees checking in with press row, and we are all set. Again, thank you so much for watching tonight on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. If this is your first time joining us, please subscribe to our channel and like what you see here tonight. We appreciate all the support that we get. Both teams on the court again. Dotson Isabel, Takai Mason, Clinton, Stewart, and Dickerson for the Warriors, and Jefferson, Foster, Mooney, Dickerson, and Manu for the Bonackers. And it'll be Dickerson jumping against Manu. And right off the bat, Foster drives in the lane, uncontested from the left side, and East Hampton gets a quick 2-0 lead 10 seconds into the game. Warriors did not have a lead at all in their last contest against Mount Sinai as Mason drives in the lane. Shot doesn't go. Ball tipped up in the air, and the board pulled down by Carter Dickerson for the Bonackers. Jefferson brings the ball up court, bottom of the circle, guarded by Amityville's Dickerson. Now it's Foster in the near corner, over to Mooney, left wing, back to Foster. Foster sees some daylight, drives to the free throw line, kicks it over to the right side, down low to Manu. That shot doesn't go, and Clinton pulls down the board. 2-0 Warriors opening minute as Dickerson thinks about driving, instead loses the handle. It's a turnover. Mooney pushing the tempo the other way, and he can't control the rock. Dotson Isabel thinks about the tray, instead gives it up to Clinton. Around the world, far side now, it's Mason. Three-pointer, Clinton, contested, air ball, and the Bonackers will get possession. 2-0 East Hampton. Jefferson pressured by Dickerson right at the timeline. Top of the key now. It's Carter Dickerson. Gives it up to Mooney. Jefferson looking for help. Hands off to Foster. Foster gets around a screen. Dribbles with the left hand. Spins right. Up with the floater. Doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Mark Stewart. Again, Stewart out of last Friday's contest. He should give a boost to the Warriors as Clinton has it. Sends it cross court over to Dotson Isabel, who finds Dickerson right in front of the Bonackers bench. Dickerson looking for a screen and loses the ball out of bounds. That'll be another turnover for the Warriors, 2 in the opening 2 minutes here. And it's still 2-0, 6:04 to go, opening quarter.
A good start for the Bonackers we see here today.
Dotson Isabel putting on some backcourt pressure. The rest of the Warriors, they'll stand in the front court as Foster has it. Top of the key, loses the handle. We got a reach in and a foul called on Alan Dotson Isabel. So his first, team's first. And East Hampton will inbound right in front of the Warrior bench across the way from us here on press row. Still 2-0. East Hampton out in front. Foster thinks about driving, gives it up to Jefferson. And a turnover, loose ball. Dotson Isabel trying to find a breaking Dickerson, but we get a whistle. And that foul will be called on Carter Dickerson. And Warriors will get possession. It'll be Takai Mason inbounding, uncontested to Amir Dickerson. Right wing, Dotson Isabel. Other side now, it's Clinton. Back to Dotson Isabel. Picks up his dribble, looking for Stewart. Instead, finds Dickerson, bottom of the circle. Dickerson, crossover dribble, gets it to Mason. Mason drives, puts up a shot, tipped, and falls in the hands of Carter Dickerson. And it'll be Mason Jefferson bringing the ball up, looking for Manu, down low, gets some help, kicks it out to Foster, thinks about the tray, instead pulls it back. Now drives in the lane, 3 white jerseys around him, and they're going to call a travel on Toby Foster. So another turnover, 2-0 still, only 1 field goal in the opening 3 seconds of the game. East Hampton out in front, 5:05 to go, opening quarter. Dickerson taking his time, far sideline. Stewart trying to set a screen. Dickerson behind the back dribble, pulls back, now goes left side, finds Clinton for the 3, left wing, too strong off the far rim. Ball is tipped out, chase for the loose ball. It'll be Foster who comes down with it. Driving from the left side up, and a foul is called on Clinton. Clinton was trying to draw the offensive foul, but the officials will call it on him anyway, and that will send Toby Foster to the free throw line. First free throws tonight for either team. 2-0, East Hampton out in front, opening quarter.
We're seeing some pretty good defensive plays from both teams as it's almost halfway into the first quarter, and there's only now 3 points on the board.
All belonging to Toby Foster. We mentioned last year Foster went off on the Warriors, 17 points in one of their games, including 3 3-pointers, as he sinks a pair of free throws. It's 4-0. Warriors still looking for their first points of the game as we are 3 minutes and 20 seconds into this one. Dickerson drives, gets a whistle, and they're going to call a foul on the floor on East Hampton. So the Warriors will inbound under their own basket. And we mentioned last time, Amityville put themselves in a bad spot twice, giving up 2 large runs to Mount Sinai. They never had a lead in the game. It's been a while. Warriors haven't had a lead since the Riverhead contest. Dickerson up with the shot, counted in the foul. So now Amityville gets on the board. And Amir Dickerson has a chance for the 3-point play. 4-3, East Hampton out in front. 4:31 to go, first quarter. Dickerson last game, 34 points, including a lot of success at the charity stripe. 8 points from the free throw line and 6 3-pointers. As Dickerson gets the job done, 3-point play is complete. Warriors within 1. Now they're putting the full court press on. Jefferson looking for help, finds Mooney. Mooney, far side, behind the back dribble, loses the handle, gets it over to Foster, 15-foot jumper. That doesn't go. Rebounded by Manu, kicks it back out, top of the key. Foster now, right side, 3-pointer. No good. Rebound Dickerson. Dickerson pushing the tempo. Takes it himself, up with the shot, the scoop, and it falls. Another chance for a 3-point play as Dickerson is doing what he did in the last game, trying to take over. No, I take it back. They're going to call an offensive foul on Dickerson. So wipe that basket off the scoreboard. Dickerson thought he was going back to the free throw line. And that'll be a turnover as Mooney in trouble, loses it. Now Dickerson uncontested, up with the finger roll and in. And the Warriors have their first lead in over a game as they're up by 1, under 4 to play, opening quarter. 3-on-2, and ball is kicked out of bounds off a Warrior foot. So that'll slow things down. East Hampton will inbound under their own basket. Warriors up by 1, 3:46 to go, first quarter. Jefferson looking to inbound. Bounce pass. Manu puts up the easy jumper and hits. And that will put East Hampton back out in front. 6-5, 3:40 to go, first quarter. Dotson Isabel, top of the key. Sends it right wing to Clinton. Clinton fakes right, dribbles left. Dotson Isabel, left wing 3-pointer, doesn't go. And the rebound into the hands of Carter Dixon. Foster pushing the tempo, left side, Clinton on him, kicks it back out to a 3-pointer from Jefferson, and Jefferson drills it from the right wing. 9-5, 3:07 to go, first quarter. Amir Dickerson has it for the Warriors, bottom of the circle, guarded by Foster. Throws it to Kai Mason, left wing, puts up a 15-footer, that doesn't go. Loose ball, pulled down by Stewart. 3-pointer by Clinton, strong off the back rim, loose ball underneath, and the Warriors have it once again. Up with the shot, no good. Was to Kai Mason, and he's able to draw the foul. So that will send to Kai Mason to the free throw line. 9-5, Warriors trailing East Hampton. 2:41 to go, first quarter.
Some pretty aggressive gameplay from both teams. You can see their defense has really stepped up from the last time that they played Amityville.
East Hampton in the midst of a 5-0 run, and Mason trying to end that as the first free throw off the side of the rim, no good. Couple of substitutions. Jordan Hines comes into the game, as does Tristan Trellis, who was really good for the Warriors off the bench in their last game against Mount Sinai. Trellis adding 7 points off the bench. And also Wesley Flythe sees his first action of the night. He also played a role off the bench for the Warriors against Mount Sinai with 7 points of his own. Mason, second free throw, that one falls, so that'll end the 5-0 run. And it's now 9-6. East Hampton out in front, 2:37 to go. Full court press. Manu has it, cross court to Jefferson, drives in the lane, doesn't go. Manu with the rebound, up and under for the lay-in, and it's 11-6, largest lead of the game for the Bonackers. 2:24 to go, first quarter. Dickerson looks for the screen, finds it, puts up a shot from the free throw line, off the front of the rim, gets his own rebound, drives in the paint, spins with the left hand, it's tipped, and no good, but Dickerson has it again. Gets it over to Mason, who goes up and draws the foul. So Dickerson doing everything but finishing on that possession for the Warriors. But Takai Mason will have another opportunity from the free throw line with the Warriors trailing 11-6, 2:06 opening quarter.
Pretty enthusiastic crowd here tonight. We see a lot of yelling. I see that in most games, and it's a good thing to know, good thing to see here, school spirit.
And the first free throw falls. So Mason gets his second point of the day. He's now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Second free throw also falls, so Mason doing the job from the free throw line. It's now 11-8, approaching the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Warriors with a full court press. It'll be Foster trying to break it. Gets across midcourt. Guarded by Mason. Drives left side, up with the shot, and the foul. Chance for a three-point play. They've yet to put it on the scoreboard. There it goes. 13-8, under 2 to play opening quarter. East Hampton in the lead. And Foster has a chance to complete the three-point play. Foster already has 6 points today. Make it 7 as he converts. 14-8, 1:54 to go first quarter. Dickerson, bottom of the circle, guarded by Foster. Gets a screen, dribbles midcourt, left wing. Mason, back to Dickerson, top of the key. Finds Hines, fresh off the bench, hands it off to Trellis. Trellis finds a cutting Flythe, drives in the lane, gets the finger roll, and it's 14-10, 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Mooney has it, double teamed, dangerous cross-court pass into the hands of Jefferson. Good defense by Tristan Trellis, but they're going to end up calling a foul on Trellis, a little over-aggressive. 1:16 to go first quarter. Warriors trail by 4. And East Hampton in the bonus, so that will send Mason Jefferson to the free throw line. Jefferson a three-pointer earlier in the first quarter, looking to add to his total. The junior guard puts up the first free throw and converts. Jefferson takes his time. The southpaw puts up the next shot. And he hits 16-10. Bonackers up by 6. 75 seconds to go, opening quarter. Dickerson bringing the ball up the court. Trellis, left wing. Top of the key. Now to right side, it's Dickerson. Drives, right upper block, and sinks the shot. 16-12, 1 minute to go. And we got a whistle on the floor and a timeout. And Dickerson so far today, 7 points for Amityville. And in the last game against Mount Sinai, Amir Dickerson just went off Aaron offensively.
That's true. He did. I mean, we've already seen in the 2 games that Amityville has played so far, last game he had 34 points against Mount Sinai. That's pretty good. And 6 3-pointers. So hopefully we can see some of that in today's game. I mean, we only have 1 minute left in the first quarter, so there's a pretty long game left to see. But we're just hoping that we can see some more of that gameplay in today's game. And
Amityville's definitely going to need some secondary scoring to complement Dickerson. He can't do this alone. Last game, they had a pretty well-balanced offense in terms of Flythe, Mason, and Trellis getting 7 points each. Dejon Clinton held to 4 points in the last game, but no really other second dominant scorer, and I think that's going to be key for this game and this season. Who's going to be the person that will complement Dickerson and take some of the pressure off him moving forward? Minute to go, first quarter. Bonackers break the press, behind the back dribble. Foster takes it himself, shot from the three-pointer, short, and the Warriors bring it out. Fast break, Dickerson, right side, drives, in the lane, up with the shot, and in. Amir Dickerson gets the Warriors within 2. 40 seconds to go, first quarter. Foster crosses the timeline, right in front of us here, midcourt. guarded by Trellis. Spins around to the left side, double team, puts up the shot, doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Takai Mason. 26 seconds to go, shot clock turned off, and Dickerson driving in the lane, stripped, but a whistle before the shot. And that will see if the officials give Dickerson the free throw line, and they do. So Amityville in the bonus. Dickerson goes to the free throw line where he was also very successful on Friday. 8 free throws, and Dickerson sinks that one. So Dickerson 2 for 2 from the free throw line so far today. And the Warriors within a point, 23.2 seconds left in the first quarter. And Dickerson gets the job done. We're all tied up at 16 here. Pass to midcourt, dangerous pass, loose ball. Carter Dickerson ever able to pull it down. 15 seconds left, shot clock turned off here in the first quarter. Foster has it, puts up a 3, left wing and drills it. Foster from downtown, 19-16, 5 seconds to go first quarter. Amir Dickerson for Amityville, 2 seconds. Gets it over to Trellis, who puts up a 3. They wave it off. They're going to call a travel on Tristan Trellis. And that's how things will conclude here at the end of the first quarter. 1 down, 3 to go. Warriors trailing East Hampton, 19-16. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter action coming up next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'm Aaron Kruder with the Amityville Broadcasting Network, here with head coach Jack Agostino. Here for
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
This is Mark Stewart, center for the Amityville basketball team, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
With 1 quarter in the books, Warriors trail the Bonackers 19-16. Matt Grice, Aaron Kruder with you on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. And for the first time, we will check in with the third member of our crew, Janiyah Barton.
Hi, Warriors. Before the game, I spoke to player Dejon Clinton, number 13, and Isaiah Nixon, number 11. Talking to Dejon, he spoke with me about how having a sprained shoulder was something that he had to overcome this school year in sports. Additionally, he was still in recovery from knee surgery from last year. In conversation about the game, he told me something he would like to improve on is his ball handling skills. But another skill that Dejon developed in the sport is becoming more of a leader and being taught to exhibit leadership. Back to you.
Thanks, Janiyah. Opening 15 seconds of the second quarter, Warriors get first possession, but a quick turnover, and it'll be Jack Mooney bringing the ball up as he hands it over to Dickerson, and now it's Jefferson. Right wing in front of the Warrior bench, guarded by Amityville's Dickerson. Bounce pass in the paint, up with the shot for Manu, doesn't go, but a foul is called, and that'll send Manu to the free throw line. Mason Jefferson on the court, along with Carter Dickerson, Toby Foster. To start things off here for the Bonackers. First free throw, no good. Jack Mooney also on the court for the Bonackers. And for the Warriors, taking a seat now, Jordan Hines, who started the second quarter, but Dejon Clinton back in the game for Amityville. And he is joined by Takai Mason, Amir Dickerson, Wesley Flythe, as the second free throw falls. So it's 2016. 7:21 to go. in the first half. Driving in the lane, up with the shot, doesn't go off the back rim for Mason. And the Bonackers will slow things down. Free throw line, looking for help. Dangerous pass, now kicks it out back to the top of the key. Dickerson, free throw line, jump shot, and drilled by Jack Mooney. Now 22-16, 6:54 to go in the second quarter. Flight has it, right wing. Gives it up to Trellis, top of the key. Sends a floater to Clinton. Has to leap in the air to try to bring it back down and get it over to Dickerson to save it, but it's going to go out of bounds. And they're going to say it was tipped by a maroon jersey, so the Warriors will keep possession. Dickerson to Clinton. Top of the key now, it's Mason. Right wing, Flythe. In between the legs, dribble. Back to Clinton. Clinton gets a screen. Free throw line. Shot off the front of the rim, no good. Jefferson brings it out, but it's picked off by Clinton. Clinton down low to Dickerson, who lays it in. Clinton the assist. And it's now 22-18, 6:16 to go, second quarter. And we get a turnover on the pressure from the press. Trellis driving himself on the left side, count it, and the foul. Tristan Trellis pulls the Warriors within 2, and he will have a chance for a 3-point play.
Some pretty good read by Trellis there, getting the ball back over a pass from maroon jerseys. I mean, we just saw that with Clinton as well. These turnovers are really essential to the game.
East Hampton was on a 6-0 run, but that ended with the turnover from Clinton to Dickerson, and then another turnover. Tristan Trellis doing the work all by himself, puts up the free throw and hits. So the 3-point play completed by Trellis, and it's a 22-21 lead for East Hampton. Warriors putting more pressure on in the backcourt. Foster trying to break the press, needs some help, finds Jefferson, far side, right wing, picks up the dribble. Back to Foster, bottom of the circle, guarded by Dickerson. Screen set by the other Dickerson. Now Foster's in trouble, looking for help. Good ball movement, down low, right low block. And that shot doesn't go as Manu tried to finish, and they're going to say out of bounds off of a Bonackers jersey, and the Warriors will bring the ball up the court. East Hampton up by 1, 5:37 to go until the half. Dotson Isabel back in. Dickerson drives, low right block, off the backboard, too strong. Rebound pulled down by Mason. Up with the shot, off the glass and good. And the Warriors go back out in front. Amityville in the midst of a 7-0 run to take a lead, 23-22, 5:18 to go. Jump shot deflected out of bounds. Jag Mooney with the attempt, and East Hampton will retain possession. 25 on the shot clock, 5:13 on the game clock. And Amityville finally has a lead, 23-22. Inbound, it's Moody. Chest pass to Foster. Over to Jefferson. Jefferson, a long three-pointer. That's short. Loose ball in the paint. Rebound handled by Mooney. Bounce pass into paint, top of the key. It's Dickerson, thinks about a three, drives, has his pass intercepted. Dickerson, long outlet. Trellis wide open with the layup, and it's good. Warriors' biggest lead of the game, 25-22. 4:47 to go in the first half. Tristan Trellis doing a very good job for Amityville. Second game in a row off the bench. And we get a whistle and a timeout as Coach David Conlon wants to talk things over. East Hampton has controlled most of this game, but in the last few minutes, it's been all Amityville, Aaron.
That's true. I mean, we've seen a pretty good performance so far by Amityville, especially just now by Tristan Trellis. Just that turnover that we mentioned before that happened, and right now with 2 more points, he's put up 5 points in this current run that Amityville has going that has gotten them the lead so far in the second quarter. And I think that's more of what we need to see. Because earlier in the game, first quarter, we saw some good runs by Amityville, but they were all by Amir Dickerson. So it's good to see that we're seeing some other players stepping up and kind of going into that, as you said, their second most scoring player.
Yes, who is going to be the secondary scorer on this Warrior team? That first game against Riverhead, they were able to have the two-headed monster between Dickerson and Dejon Clinton, who had a great game. Last contest, there was really nobody that did that. There was some balance of players coming off the bench with the scoring, but they didn't have that secondary scoring. But right now, you have to give a lot of credit to Tristan Trellis, who's done a really nice job off the bench. Warriors in the midst of a 9-0 run, and this is what they needed to get back into this. And East Hampton is known as a smaller school. They're coming off a season in which they didn't do as well as they wanted to, 4-14 overall. And a new coach this year, a young team, as they lost a lot of players to graduation last year. Toby Foster, who's a junior, he was here last year as a sophomore. He's probably the leader of this team at this point in time. But this is a game Amityville expects to win. Give a lot of credit. East Hampton is playing them tough right now. Let's see how they respond. Inbound, Dickerson. Dickerson gives it up to Foster. Foster, bottom of the circle. Fakes right, dribbles left one time. It's Mooney, drives in the paint. Rims around, no good, but right there to clean up the garbage was Manu. And it's 25-24, Warriors out in front. Trellis drives in the lane, shot doesn't go, rebound pulled down by Manu. And East Hampton breaks out. Shot doesn't go, loose ball pulled down by Flife. That last basket ended a 9-0 run by the Warriors. Dickerson has it, given some space, puts up the three, doesn't go. Warriors get the rebound. Now it's Clinton, near corner tray. That's short. And the rebound pulled in by Carter Dickinson. Dickerson hands it off to Jefferson, far side of the court. Picks up his dribble. Plays catch with Dickerson. Back to Jefferson, right wing. Bounce pass, right upper block. Shot doesn't go by Manu. And it's Clinton with the rebound. Outlet pass. Dickerson thinks about the three, slows things down. Clinton, one dribble, plays catch with Dickerson, around the world, long three-pointer now. That one doesn't go. And the rebound bounces in the hands of Tristan Trellis. Driving, left side, Clinton, wild shot. Doesn't find much of the glass. And the Bonackers bring the ball up the court. Foster, driving, slows things down, pulls up, and gets it off the glass and in. And East Hampton back out in front, 26-25, just under 3 to play in the first half. Trellis, right wing. Over to Mason, top of the key. Hands it off to Dickerson. Back to Trellis. One bounce, it's Flife. Right wing, free throw line. Mason, up with the shot and in. So back and forth we go the last couple of minutes here. Warriors back out in front by 1, 2:35 to go in the first half.
Pretty close game so far. Almost end of the first half. We're seeing a lot of aggressive gameplay from both teams.
Jump shot and a foul called as the shot doesn't fall for Miles Manu, but he will go to the free throw line. Warriors up by 1, 2:27 to go, opening half. Manu, 7 points in today's contest thus far. Puts up the first of 2, and that free throw does not go. Mason Jefferson will take a breather, as does Jack Mooney. Coming in the game now, Dylan Pitts and Aaron Brito for the Bonackers. Warriors will go with the same 5. Free throw, and the second one falls. 8 points on the day now for Manu. Warriors have the ball, 2:20 until the half. Top of the key, it's Mason. Left wing, Dickerson, shimmies, long 2, doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Carter Dickerson, and it'll be Foster taking over the one-guard duties. Crosses the timeline, right in front of us here, press row. Left side, crossover dribble, drives in the paint, gets it over to Manu, and it's swatted away. Here come the Warriors. They have numbers the other way. Flife takes it himself up with this shot. No good, but Flife will draw the foul. Good sportsmanship by Carter Dickinson, helping Flife to his feet, but that will send Wesley Flife to the free throw line. Warriors up by 1. It's 28-27. 110 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
It's beginning to look like a pretty close game as we're nearing, as you said, the end of quarter 2. Hoping to see some even more aggressive gameplay. in the final 2 minutes.
Blythe hits the first free throw. Warriors back up by 2. And we're going to get another sub as Carter Dickerson will take a seat. And Tyler Perjan will get his first action of tonight's contest. Second free throw by Blythe. And he drills a pair. 30-27, Warriors out in front, 1:50 to go, first half. Brito gets his first touch of the day. Double teamed right at midcourt, needs some help. Pass loose on the ground. Blythe to Dickerson. Dickerson driving, gets it tipped in, and the foul. Dickerson once again with an opportunity for a 3-point play. 32-27, Warriors up in front by 5, 1:35 to go. And Dickerson looking to add to his team's total and his personal total. And the free throw is good, so Dickerson completes the 3-point play. Warriors in the midst of a 5-0 run, 33-27, 6-point lead for Amityville, the largest of the game. 90 seconds left until halftime. Bounce pass, low left block, up with the shot, Brito. And that will not go. Warriors with the rebound. Dickerson far sideline. Hesitates, drives, pulls back. Top of the key, 3, Dotson Isabel, and Dotson Isabel drains the tray. And in a very quick time span, Warriors adding some distance between them and East Hampton, 36-27, a minute to play here in quarter number 2. Loose ball. Menu spins in the paint. We get a turnover on East Hampton, and Amityville gets the ball back. 56 seconds to go in the half.
Warriors currently on an 8-point run right now. A pretty great answer to East Hampton's desire to win this game. Their gameplay has been pretty good so far, but Amityville has answered that, and they're showing that they're not afraid to fight back.
Shows you how quickly things can turn around when you get your offense going. Dotson Isabel, big 3-pointer on that last possession. 23 seconds on the shot clock, 41 on the game clock. Clinton drives left side, up off the glass, doesn't go, tries to get his own rebound, but it's pulled away by Pershawn. And about a 1-second difference between shot clock and game clock for the Bonackers. Foster will have it, slowing things down. East Hampton looking to hold for the last shot, but it's swiped away by Blythe. He finds Dickerson driving from the left side, up with the shot, and good. 38-27, 11-point lead for Amityville, 8 seconds to go. Long pass. And it's stolen away, 2 seconds, Clinton has it. And at the buzzer from half court, Dickerson chucks it up. It falls short. But we land at halftime with the Warriors up 38-27. And this was a back and forth contest, but the Warriors came on strong right at the end of the first half. Don't go anywhere, because the halftime show is coming up next right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Coach Agostino, the head basketball coach for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Basketball Network.
This is the Warriors Basketball Halftime Show on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Amityville Broadcasting Network for your halftime show. I'm your recruiter, Christian Chicos. Wow, what a game so far. We're at halftime right now, and the score is currently 38-27. Amityville is up by 11 points right now, and that's not what we were expecting at the start of the game, was it?
No, not at all. At the start of the game, you saw East Hampton take the early lead with, I think, a 4-point run until Amityville got 2 free throws off. But I really wasn't expecting this. As I expected Amityville to play a little slower at the beginning, but they're really starting to pick up the pace in the second quarter, and you can feel their confidence.
I agree. I mean, it was pretty much of a slow start for both teams. I mean, by the around the first half of the first quarter, there was only 2 points on the board, scored by Toby Foster of East Hampton. So it was a pretty slow start for both teams. But you can see that now they're getting into it. They're finding their groove. They're adjusting against each other. As we mentioned before, East Hampton does look like a whole new team. You know, they had a pretty good start against Amityville here today. And the first 4 points on the board for the whole game were scored by Toby Foster of East Hampton. And he scored 10 points in total for the game so far. And that's pretty good. So we see he's scoring a lot of points on the board for his team.
Yeah, a player I wanted to mention from East Hampton is number 1, Mason Jefferson. He's looking to put up a lot of that leadership role that we see on Amityville side from Amir Dickerson. I've noticed Mason pointing at the center of the field so that he could call over his other teammates, such as number 33, so that he could score easy layups. He's also making a lot of the calls outside of the field with his long-range passes, which I think is extremely interesting from East Hampton, that we're seeing a lot of long-range passes, which usually we don't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, but with the long-range passes, there comes a chance to fumble the ball, and we've seen that a few times, that they've lost control of the ball. We've seen a lot of turnovers. Amityville is really grabbing at that chance to get the ball back whenever they can, and they've made plays off of that. They've had scores off of that, especially from Clinton and Trellis. We've seen a lot of good plays from them that are coming from them taking the ball back from East Hampton and running up to get that ball in the net.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that as well. Like you said, with long passes comes the risk of losing the ball, and we've seen that as the ball has quite literally been snatched mid-pass, and we've just seen them get punished for doing those long-range passes. However, I don't think they're going to stop doing those long-range passes, especially when they're close to the opponent's net. We've seen a lot of those long-range passes come out successful as they keep the pressure on different sides of the court as they're trying to score.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely kept the pressure up, East Hampton, in the first quarter of the game, but Amityville answered that. You know, they answered back. They fought back against East Hampton's defense, and they stopped their offense from scoring some more points in the second quarter, and that's what allowed them to get their current lead. And I want to say East Hampton, they started off with a 4-0 run by Foster, of course, but Amityville answered that with a 5-0 run. All 5 points by Amir Dickerson, but East Hampton answered that back with a 5-0 run of their own by Manu and Jefferson, players we've talked about today. And we see a little back and forth for the rest of the first quarter, but we see Amityville had a 6-0 run at the end of to end off the first quarter for them, and that was all Amir Dickerson. So Amir Dickerson had 2 pretty good runs of his own where he was just him scoring for his team.
Yeah, I definitely see Amir Dickerson putting up those numbers. He's putting up these plays. He's making opportunities, not just for himself, but also for his team. But it also seems like his team really is confiding in him to make these points. As you saw, he's always running across the field. He's everywhere on the field. I don't think I can recall a moment where I don't see Amir Dickerson in my first-person view really close to the ball.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dickerson, he already has 18 points, and it's just the first half of the game, and that's more than any other player on the court has right now. 18 points is a lot for them, and I think he's really helped Amityville get their lead that they have right now.
Yeah, I definitely think that too. I think he's a part of the reason of why the Amityville is performing so good in the second quarter.
All right, we're going to take time right now to send it to our sideline reporter, Janiyah Barton.
Isaiah Nixon, number 11, is right where he wants to be on this team in his position as a shooter. He told me he definitely feels like a big part of the team and that he can do a lot for them to make a better outcome of the game. While in his sports career, Isaiah has faced many obstacles like getting injured a multitude of times while playing, but he still can't see himself doing anything else. So back to you.
Thank you, Janaya. Wonderful insight into the minds of these players, these young players here on the court. And I think we should talk more about the scoring here. So, quarter 2, East Hampton opened up with a 6-0 run by Manu and Mooney. So we've seen Manu is the secondary scorer for today. So far, East Hampton scored 8 points so far today. Their first one, Foster, with 10 points so far. So we can see that those are really the leaders of East Hampton right now so far.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I think Foster is really putting up those numbers. You see him actively engaging on the court. Always trying to go for these layups, always trying to go for three-pointers. Although he's missed a couple, it's also paid off for him.
Mm-hmm. And we can see that, as you mentioned earlier, maybe Dickerson's leadership is really rubbing off on his teammates. As you mentioned earlier, some other teammates motioning to their teammates and really trying to make plays. I saw the sophomore for Amityville, sophomore guard, Alan Dodson Isabel. I saw him motioning to his team, go there, passing the ball. And I see that's a good thing, that Amityville is really, you can see that they're kind of like a family. And that's a good thing to have for a sports team, because if you don't trust each other like a family, then you can't win any games together, you can't play together. So that's a really nice thing to see in this team.
Yeah, I think that was extremely nice to see with Alan for Amityville. Definitely taking on more of a leadership role, similar to Amir, but it's not like they're overstepping each other's boundaries as well. They all have their own respective roles, and they respect each other as a team, which, like you said, it makes them more like a family, which would make them better players as a team.
I also want to compliment East Hampton on they're very smooth passing the ball. It's just they made a lot of long passes, although sometimes Am will take the opportunity to get a turnover. You can really see it's kind of natural the way they pass the ball to each other, East Hampton. So you can see that they also have that kind of familial, the family kind of bond that a team should have. And you can see that they trust each other. I've seen them make passes without even looking to each other. So, I mean, that's a really good thing to see in a team. But as we're nearing the end of halftime, I want to ask you, what are your keys for the rest of today's game?
I really think Toby Foster is going to continue to perform. I think he's going to continue to try to make those three-pointers and continue to try to push up for those easy layups. Again, for East Hampton, I think number 1, Mason Jefferson, is going to be another leadership player, calling over his team, telling them where to go on the court so that they can find those points. As well for Amityville, I think they're going to keep trying to push forward. They're going to keep trying to get some layups. But although they might find some difficulty on the court, I think they're going to change their strategy. They're going to adapt, as they've all been doing this entire game.
I agree. And that's it for our halftime show. Once again, I'm Aaron Critter, Christian Chicas. We're right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
This is Mark Stewart, center for the Amityville basketball team, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Fred Williams Memorial Gym as halftime is coming to a close. The Amityville Warriors hosting the East Hampton Bonackers, and the Warriors took a 38-27 lead into the half. Matt Grice, Aaron Kruder, Janaya Barton on the sideline with us here tonight. Christian doing a great job at halftime for us as well, and Lizette Acosta running the boards for us today. She's taken off, but we appreciate all her hard work, and we couldn't do it without the full team that we have here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. But we are just moments away from starting quarter number 3. Aaron, this was kind of a strange first half as Amityville was shaking off some of the rust that they acquired in that last game against Mount Sinai, and for a while, East Hampton was really hanging and taking it to the Warriors. But the way things ended at the end of the second quarter changed everything.
I mean, I agree. The East Hampton, they got to a great start in the beginning. I mean, both teams were pretty slow at scoring in the start, but both teams started to take up momentum, and now we have the score that we have now, and I think as we're heading into the second half, we're going to see a lot more of that explosive and aggressive gameplay from both teams.
We'll see how East Hampton responds. Right now, the Warriors in the midst of a 10-0 run going back to the end of the second quarter. It'll be East Hampton with the opening possession. Mooney on the court, top of the key. Foster drives, and we get a whistle and a travel. So a quick turnover on the Bonackers. And again, it's Foster, Jefferson, Mooney, Dickerson, and the big man, Miles Manu, on the court for the Bonackers. And for the Warriors, Dejon Clinton, Amir Dickerson, Takai Mason, Dotton Isabel, and down low, it'll be Mark Stewart. Top of the key, Dotson Isabel, three-pointer, right wing, Clinton, air ball in the hands of Mooney. Mooney will bring the ball up. Now it's Foster. Foster double teamed, and see if they're going to call. Yes, they do. They call an offensive foul on Toby Foster, so the Warriors will get possession. Two quick turnovers here early in the first 35 seconds of quarter number 3. Warriors with an 11-point lead and in the midst of a 10-0 run.
As I mentioned earlier, these turnovers are really essential to the game, as they can change things up just like that.
Dickerson, the leading scorer for the Warriors with 18 points in the first half. Clinton has it, gets a screen, but instead chooses to dribble to the bottom of the circle, floats a pass left side to Dickerson, back to Clinton, throws it around far side baseline. It's Dotson Isabel. Now Clinton to Dickerson, and that pass out of bounds. So turnover for the Warriors. 1 minute into quarter number 3. Neither team has scored here. Warriors with an 11-point lead. Amir Dickerson putting some backcourt pressure. Bonackers able to get it, front court. Dickerson, cross court to Jefferson. Finds Mooney, puts up a shot from the left upper block. That doesn't go. Clinton pulls down the board. Warriors break out. Full court pass, Mason. It's picked off by Carter Dickerson. Here comes Foster. Pull-up jump shot. That doesn't go. And Clinton with the rebound. Amir Dickerson brings it up far sideline. Drives in the paint himself. And that one won't go, but a foul is called. And that will send Dickerson to the free throw line. That's a smart foul. First half, Aaron Dickerson, really good job creating those three-point plays. That time, the foul was aggressive enough. Dickerson couldn't get the basket.
And that's what we talked about before in previous games, that Anvil needs to be smart with their fouls and make sure that if they're getting that foul, then they're getting the most points on the board as possible.
First free throw, too strong off the back rim. So a rare miss from the charity stripe for Dickerson as we get a substitute. Carter Dickerson comes out of the game. Dylan Pitts comes in for his second stint on the court today. Still looking for the first points of quarter number 3. Warriors with an 11-point lead, and Dickerson's free throw well short, and we get a jump ball underneath. Good effort between Mason and Manu, and possession will favor the Warriors. So Dotson Isabel inbounds under his own basket. Gets it into Dickerson. Left baseline, dribbles left wing. Three-pointer in the corner for Dotson Isabel, and Dotson Isabel finds the bottom of the net. 41-27 after the three-pointer. First points of quarter number 3 for either team. And there's a three-pointer that doesn't go. Clinton with the rebound. He'll take it himself. Warriors in the midst of a 13-0 run going back to the second quarter. Dotson Isabel to Clinton, bottom of the circle. Far baseline three-pointer, that doesn't go from Dickerson. Rebound by Pitts. Pitts to Jefferson. Full court to Foster. Foster drives. Left block, doesn't go. Rebound by Manu. Kicks it back out, it's Pitts. Pitts over to Jefferson. Left wing 3. Air ball in the hands of Mooney. Mooney spins around, that doesn't go. Rebound put back by Pitts. And that falls short. This time Warriors bring it down. 41-27, Amityville in front. 5:25 to go third quarter. And we get a whistle and a travel called on Takai Mason. Mason had a good first half as well for the Warriors offensively.
7 points by Mason in the first half. Seen some more of that, as we mentioned, the secondary score stepping up for Amityville.
Manu, cross court, Foster, down low, back to Manu with an easy lay-in. Good ball movement for the Bonackers. And they get their first points of the second half. 41-29, 5 minutes to go. Dickerson, long three-pointer, doesn't go. Off the top of the backboard, falls in, but it's waved off by the officials as that is out of bounds. And the Bonackers get it back. So that is a 13-0 run finally snapped by Miles Manu as the Warriors put on some pressure in the backcourt. It'll be Jefferson, kicks it up to Mooney, far side, double team, cross court to Pitts. Pitts dribbles once, puts up a 10-footer, blocked. And the Warriors have it. Breaking out, it's Dotson Isabel, uncontested with the layup from the right side. And the Warriors go up 43-29, 4:32 to go in quarter number 3. And a turnover. Warriors get it back. Clinton drives, stops, plays catch with Dotson Isabel. Now Clinton looking for help. Sent around the world to Dickerson, right side. Steps in, puts up a long two. That doesn't go, and the rebound pulled in by Toby Foster. Foster takes it himself, meets a wall in Dickerson right at midcourt. And we get a timeout on the floor as Coach David Colon wants to talk things over. And really, since about the 3-minute mark of the second quarter, Aaron, this has been all Amityville's game.
I mean, they've already scored 5 points so far in the third quarter. And again, we've seen some more explosive gameplay from Amityville.
This has really been a tale of maybe 3 different games here. Early on, East Hampton came out really, really good, and I think they might have caught the Warriors by surprise a little bit. We talked about this is a team last year, East Hampton, wasn't very good in the league. Amityville beat them soundly 2 times. But in that first quarter, started off with a 5-0 run, 6-0 run to start the second quarter, and the Bonackers were able to pull ahead of the Warriors. Their lead was as much as 6 points. But then Amityville came back, 9-0 run, followed by some back and forth action between these two teams, and then a 13-0 run, 10-0 run to end quarter number 2, and they added 3 more points to start quarter number 3. It has been all Amityville since then as Foster has it, double teamed in the backcourt, pass over to Manu, almost loses his footing, and it's a loose ball. Foster's able to keep possession for the maroon jerseys. Dickerson on him. East Hampton trying to set up a play. It's Foster, dribbles, and gets tripped up. And they will call a foul on the floor on the Warriors. So Dickerson hit with the foul. East Hampton will keep possession as they inbound under their own basket. Inbound pass, 3-pointer from the corner, and it's drilled by Toby Foster. And it's now 43-32. Warriors in front, 3:33 to go in quarter number 3. Foster led all scorers for East Hampton with 12 points in the first half, 15 overall now as Mason has it, drives from the top of the key, puts up the floater off the front of the rim, no good, gets his own rebound, tipped out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover. And we get a couple of substitutions, 3 new white jerseys it looks like, and instead a timeout, so we'll see where Coach Agostino decides to go with his subs in a moment. 43-32, 11-point lead for the Warriors. And we talked about the secondary scoring. Amityville doing a good job spreading the ball around, and so far here in the second half, Alan Dotson Isabel has been great.
I mean, yeah, and started off the third quarter with a 3-pointer. He also had a 3-pointer in the last few minutes of the second quarter as well. These are the only 3-pointers we've seen from Amityville this game. And Dotson Isabel, he's only a sophomore, so again, we see that kind of young talent on the Warriors that help them to keep innovating and succeeding.
Yeah, very quiet for most of the first half. 8 points overall now for Dotson Isabel. And both teams come back out on the court. And Dotson Isabel will take a breather, taking his place. Tristan Trellis, who's also been very effective off the bench for the Warriors. Trellis now has it right wing, finds Dickerson, far baseline three-pointer, off the side rim, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Toby Foster. Foster taking it himself, pushing it in the paint, left side, throws up a wild shot. Didn't need to be that way, off the bottom of the backboard. Dickerson fast break down the other way. He loses it, but they're going to say that the Bonackers stepped out of bounds. So Amityville will retain possession. Long inbound pass. Three-pointer by Trellis off the bench. It's short, but Dickerson gets the rebound, drives in the lane. That doesn't go. Gets his own rebound from the right low block. That shot doesn't fall. Still gets his own rebound. Finds Trellis for help on the left wing. Takes his time. Over to Hines. Hines' shot doesn't go. Hines fresh in the game now for the Warriors. And finally, East Hampton able to get a defensive rebound. 43-32, 2:25 to go in the third quarter. Warriors out in front. East Hampton has it. It's Moody, puts up a 15-footer, and he hits. So 43-34, lead cut down to 9. Warriors out in front, approaching the 2-minute mark of quarter number 3. Dickerson slowing things down, looks for a screen. Dickerson now in the corner, driving, and he is fouled going up with the shot, and they will send Dickerson to the free throw line. Dickerson 18 points in the first half, looking for his first points here in the second half. And the first free throw rims around and falls in the basket. So that'll end a 5-0 run for East Hampton. And Dickerson is on the board here in the second half. 44-34, 10-point lead for the Warriors. Second free throw is also good. Dickerson's been clutch from the free throw line. Lead back up to 11 for Amityville. 1:49 to go, third quarter. Mooney brings the ball up the court, out of bounds. Almost takes us out here in press row, and the Warriors will get possession. Trellis inbounds. Dickerson crosses the timeline, bottom of the circle. Back to Trellis, left wing. Trellis, top of the key, finds Flight, three-pointer left wing, short. Loose ball, out of bounds. Possession favoring East Hampton. And Carter Dickerson will come back into this contest. And taking his seat is Mooney. Warriors putting on the full court press, trying to make things difficult for East Hampton. Foster has it. He's done a good job breaking the press so far. Looked like a turnover, but they are going to call a foul on a white jersey. So East Hampton will have another chance to get the ball up court and break this Warrior press. This time they'll inbound on the sideline. Near sideline, right by the corner, it'll be Aaron Brito in the game. And he gets it into Foster. And we get another whistle. Are they going to call a foul on Dickerson, who doesn't like the call?
Takes the camera.
Hi, Corey.
So now East Hampton inbounds from the far sideline. This time they get it in. Dickerson, fresh off the bench, has the ball. Left upper block, thinks about a shot, tries to force a pass to Brito. It's tipped away. Here comes Blythe. He's going to take it himself. Right hand from the left side. Count it. And the foul. Great move by Wesley Flythe. And that puts the score up to 47 for Amityville, 34 for East Hampton, and Flythe will have a chance for a three-point play.
Again, those turnovers are so essential to the game, to putting points up on the board.
Free throw doesn't go, but rebound is pulled down by the Warriors. Hines with it. Corner three-pointer for Flight. That doesn't go. Off the side rim, and it'll be Manu who pulls it down. Good press by the Warriors in the backcourt, making things difficult. Dickerson in trouble. Finds some help in Foster. Foster over to Brito. Shot and hits. 47-36. 50 seconds to go, third quarter. Warriors have it. Flight, who has been a great boost for the Warriors, off the bench. There's a three-pointer from the right wing. Give it to Jordan Hines, 50-36. 31 seconds left here in the third quarter. 1 second differential, shot clock and game clock. And there's another almost turnover. And we get a whistle on the court. And it looks like a timeout called by Coach Conlon for East Hampton. And I think right now the message is you got to find a way to stop the bleeding.
I agree. I mean, Amityville is finding more opportunities to put more points on the board. They're finding more opportunities for three-pointers. As I mentioned before, we've only seen some three-pointers from Dalton Isabel so far, but we just got a three-pointer from Jordan Hines. And I've seen more attempts at three-pointers as well from Amityville, and that's just great to see that they're upping their game, and they want to widen the gap in scoring for East Hampton. And East Hampton, what do we think that they're going to do to try to stop the bleeding? As you said, maybe to up their defense.
Well, Toby Foster's been trying to do everything for East Hampton, and Miles Manu, as the big man, has also been contributing, but they can't do it alone. And I think that the biggest key to the success of the Warriors at the end of the first half, and certainly here in quarter number 3, they're making it very, very difficult for East Hampton to get the ball up the court. And even when they are getting the ball up the court, the defense has really been putting a lot of pressure. Warriors have also gotten a lot of second chance and third chance and fourth chance opportunities on the glass. They've been dominating on the boards in this contest, something they struggled with in their last game versus Mount Sinai. East Hampton gets it into Foster. Foster, 15-footer air ball, and it is saved by Flight. And Hines brings it up the court for the Warriors. Now it'll be Dotson Isabel taking over the one-guard duties. Flight thinks about a three, lowers his shoulder, driving to the basket, and they're going to call a foul on Aaron Brito. So good job by Flight being aggressive. Brito held his ground, but Amityville is in the bonus, so that will send Wesley Flight to the line. Flight 2 points earlier and a chance for a three-point play. Couldn't convert on the free throw. But now he has another chance with the Warriors up by 14, and the first free throw is good. Largest lead of the game for Amityville, 15 points. It's 51-36, 5.9 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Second free throw is also good. So Flight hits a pair, 52-36, 5 seconds left. Warriors will continue with the backcourt pressure. They get it in bounce. It's Brito, 2 seconds, midcourt, and he's going to get a shot off. It looked like it was before the buzzer, but it doesn't go regardless. And we are 3/4 of the way into this game, and after 3 quarters of play, the Warriors are on top 52-36. Don't go anywhere. The conclusion of this contest is coming up next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you can't measure it on your bathroom scale. Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own. You won't find a bipolar disorder by looking at a thermometer. Like many other health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
This is Mark Stewart, center for the Amityville basketball team, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
3 quarters in the books, 1 to go here at the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. The Warriors with a 52-36 lead over East Hampton. And we start quarter number 4. East Hampton has the ball. Cross-court pass, Brito from the free throw line, and he drains a free throw. Field goal, I should say. 52-38, opening 15 seconds of the 4th quarter. Trellis back in the game, drives right side. Ball swatted, but they're going to call a foul, and that will send Mr. Trellis to the free throw line. Matt Grice, Aaron Kruder, and Janiah Barton on the sideline for us here tonight, and we appreciate you joining us on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to our channel so you get alerts for all future games and events as Trellis hits the first free throw. Trellis had a good first half. 6 points on the day so far for him. Second free throw rims out. So it's 53-38. 30 seconds into the 4th quarter. East Hampton with the ball. Foster tries to drive, needs help. Dangerous cross-court path. It's tipped. Jefferson has it. Manu, pass is tipped again, out of bounds. And it looks like it'll be out off a white jersey. Anthony Martinez in the game now for the Amityville Warriors, seeing his first action of the night. So another big body down low for the Warriors as Jefferson looks to inbound. Needing help. And gets it in the corner. 3-pointer. That doesn't go from Dickerson. And the Warriors break out. Trellis cross to Clinton. And it's tipped out of bounds, but the Warriors will keep possession. 53-38. 4th quarter action here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. And Amityville has been dominating since the last few minutes of quarter number 2. Trellis, right wing. Dickerson thinks about a 3. Drives. Gets it back out, 3-pointer, Trellis, top of the key, front of the rim, no good. Rebound down low and put back by Dickerson. Warriors 55, East Hampton 38. Just under 7 to play. And here's a turnover. Dickerson, bounce pass to Mason. And the duo connect. It's 57-38, 6:43 to go in the 4th quarter. Warriors continue to put pressure on. Foster has it, looking for help. Dickerson to Brito. Brito from the free throw line. That doesn't go. Loose ball in the paint. Rebound pulled down by Amir Dickerson. Dickerson pushing the ball up court. No look. Bounce pass left side. Swatted out of the hands of Tristan Trellis. But they are going to say that his wrist was involved also. So Trellis once again back to the free throw line. And Trellis may not have the height advantage, but he's done a really good job down low.
Yes, I mean, he's been a pretty clutch player in the past couple of quarters. He's put a lot of points on the board, more than he has last game, and we can really see the impact that he has on the court off the bench.
First free throw is drained by Trellis. 7 points on the day for Tristan Trellis. Warriors lead up to 20. Second free throw doesn't go. Biggest lead of the game for Amityville. East Hampton has been very quiet offensively for quite some time now as Foster has it. Carter Dickerson. Now in the corner, it's Brito. Brito drives, feeds a pass over to Manu. Jump shot no good by Brito. Air ball. Pass is intercepted at midcourt by Dickerson. 3-pointer now by Foster left wing. That doesn't go. And Mason pulls it down for the Warriors. Unselfish play by the Warriors. It's Trellis to Clinton to Amir Dickerson who finishes it off, making it look pretty. And Coach Conlon wants to talk things over as the Warriors have upped their lead to 22 points, 5:42 left in the game. This is more of the game we expected from Amityville against East Hampton tonight. It just took them a little while, Aaron, to get going.
Yes, I mean, we can probably connect that to how their loss on Friday, maybe getting back into the groove of things. They started off a little slow in the first quarter, but as you can see, they're now at a 22-point lead over East Hampton. So I think we can make that connection that they've adjusted their game, they've improved, and they're ready to finish out this game.
8-0 run for the Warriors. The opening few seconds of the fourth quarter, Aaron Brito was able to get East Hampton on the board, but it's been all Amityville since then. They had a 13-0 run earlier in this game and a 9-0 run, and really those are the differences in the game right now. And it's amazing, Aaron. If you watch the first half, minus the last 3 minutes, you would have thought, wow, East Hampton's really playing well. Amityville's got to get going. But ever since then, it doesn't look like East Hampton belongs on the same court, as they are struggling to find another option offensively. Toby Foster's done a great job to try to jumpstart his offense, but he really hasn't had much help, and every time Foster has the ball, he's just swarmed with white jerseys. So kudos to the Warriors. They have been playing hard tonight. They've been putting a lot of pressure in the backcourt with their full court press, making things very, very uncomfortable and difficult for the Bonackers to get the ball up the court. Mooney has it, thinks about a three, now he takes it. Off the front of the rim, no good. Warriors have it, Amir Dickerson. He's gonna pull up for a three-pointer. His foot was on the line, he drains it, and the officials, rightly so, call it a two-pointer. 63-38, Warriors in front, 5:15 to go. Foster, down low, Manu swatted away. Dickerson brings it up for the Warriors, looks for Trellis, tries to lay it up, doesn't go. Dickerson with the tip back, that doesn't fall, but Mason is able to get the two on the floor. Mason has been quiet in the second half offensively, but now it's 64-38. Warriors out in front, turnover, Dickerson. Hands it over to Trellis. Trellis, top of the key, in the corner. It's Clinton. Clinton doesn't get the roll. Martinez underneath, and we get a whistle and a foul. And now we check in with the third member of our broadcast team on the sideline, Janiyah Barton.
Audience has been very interactive with me today. Most are expecting Amityville to win at this point. I see a lot of proud moms as Amityville leads at the moment, and at the sideline, players are in very high spirits. We are seeing team unity better than ever this game. Back to you.
Thanks, Janiyah. 4:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. 64-38, Warriors out in front. Anthony Martinez trying to get on the scoreboard. Missed the first free throw. Entering in the game is Tyler Pershon. And he is 0 for 2. Gets his own rebound and hands over the duties into the corner to Mason. And Mason drills the tray. So a quiet third quarter. Mason, the last 5 points for the Warriors. It's now 67-38, 4:23 to go in the game. Dickerson has it, picks up his dribble, down low to Persian, and he is able to draw a foul. But it has been all Amityville. 15-0 run for the Warriors here in the fourth quarter, and right now Amityville is all over this game. So they're actually going to count the basket and ending that 15-0 run and able to convert on the three-point play. So off the bench, Tyler Pershon ending the run, but this game is already getting out of hand early as Clinton launches a long three off the back of the backboard, no good. Putting pressure is Dickerson in the paint, up with the shot, and Pershon again giving some boost off the bench. He's got the last 5 points now for the Bonackers, 67-43, 3:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Trellis drives into the land of the big men and is swatted away by Pershon. He is doing everything on both ends of the court, driving down the other way to the left hand, won't go for Foster, out of bounds. And the officials allow the maroon jerseys to retain possession. And 4 fresh bodies coming onto the court for the Warriors. It's Flythe, Hines, Stewart, and Allen, Dotson, Isabel, as Martinez, Mason, and Clinton will take a seat. Ball inbounded. Foster has it. Now it's Dickerson. Dickerson baseline, driving under the basket, up and over. It's knocked away by Stewart. Dickerson gets it back. And here's a left upper block shot for Manu, and he's able to convert. 67-45, approaching the 3-minute mark of quarter number 4. Flythe has it. Left wing, picks up his dribble, floats a long pass cross court to Dickerson, who now gets it over to Dotson Isabel on the corner. Flythe, uncontested three-pointer, doesn't go from the left wing. Loose ball out of bounds, and possession will be given to the Warriors. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 2:55 on the game clock. Amityville inbounds under their own basket. Dotson Isabel to Hines. Around the world is Flythe. Flythe fakes a shot, drives in the lane, off the backboard, no good. And it's out of bounds, and Amityville gets to keep possession again. 67-45, 2:46 to go in this game, and it'll be Flythe who will inbound for the Warriors. Flythe to Dickerson, near corner, top of the key. Now it's Hines. Hines picks up his dribble, back to Dickerson. Dickerson for three, left wing. Skims the bottom of the rim, doesn't go, and it'll be Carter Dickerson bringing the ball up. Tries to get it to Mooney, no look pass, but it's off Mooney's fingertips and out of bounds. Warriors will get the ball back. 2:29 to go in the game. Amityville up by 22. Dotson Isabel, pull up three-pointer, uncontested, doesn't go. And they're going to call a foul, it looks like. Maybe behind the back on Dickerson. We get some subs as Martinez comes back into the game. Dickerson will take a breather, a well-deserved break. Warriors thinking about pulling off the press. Now instead, it'll be Stewart and Dotson Isabel in the backcourt. Foster carrying it up. Press is called off. Carter Dickerson to Moody. Now a three-pointer by Foster, and he drills it. Toby Foster downtown. 67-48, 2 minutes to go in the contest.
We're starting to see East Hampton pick up a little bit where they left off after the Warriors went on a 15-0 run, and now they are on themselves a 10-0 run of their own.
And Hines trying to end that, can't do it. Rebound goes to the Bonackers. Foster, pressured by Hines, gets it across midcourt. It's Dickerson, right wing. Feeds it down low to Perjan. Back to Dickerson, driving. Kicks it out to Foster. Fakes a shot, puts up a three-pointer and drills it. Foster back-to-back trays. 67-51, 1:20 to go in the game. Flythe has it, triple team, forces up a shot, draws a foul, hits the floor hard as his teammate scoops him up off the floor, and Flythe will go to the free throw line for a pair. Eight points on the day for Flythe off the bench. A chance to hit double figures as the first free throw is short. Flythe, who had 7 points in Amityville's last contest against Mount Sinai, puts up the second free throw. That is short as well. Loose ball chasing the corner. Dickerson falling out of bounds, and we'll see who the officials give possession to, and it looks like they're going to award the ball to East Hampton. Flythe comes out of the game. Clinton back in. It'll be Carter Dickerson inbounding. Far sideline right in front of the Warrior bench, and the Warriors still pressing, not letting their foot up off the gas. Toby Foster brings the ball up. Now the Warriors pull the defense back. Foster, back-to-back threes. Now he puts up a long two. That doesn't go. Rebound Clinton. Clinton slows things down, takes it himself, crosses midcourt, and we get a foul called on Toby Foster. So the Warriors will inbound. I know they're going to say Warriors are actually in the bonus here, so that'll send Dejon Clinton to the free throw line. Clinton's been quiet today, looking to get onto the score sheet for the first time as the lefty puts up the shot off the front of the rim, no good. 67-51, under a minute to play here in tonight's contest. It's been all Amityville since about 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 10-0 run currently, though, for East Hampton. Second free throw also no good. Mooney brings the ball up for the Bonackers. Clinton on him, screened away. Three-pointer, Mooney, and drills it. 3 3-pointers in a row now. This one belongs to Mooney. It's 67-54, 40 seconds to go in the game. Hines has it right wing, dribbles once, finds Clinton left wing. Clinton dribbles once, gets it to Stewart. Stewart puts up the shot and drains it. That ends the 13-0 run for East Hampton. And Stewart on the score sheet. 69-54, 22 seconds left. Shot clock turned off. Martinez with the rebound down low. Ball is tipped out of the hands of Hines. Three-pointer by Foster. That doesn't go. Martinez fights for the rebound. Foster able to get it. Gets it over to Manu. Shot doesn't go, and they call a foul. 8 seconds left. 69-54. Warriors will ultimately win this game. But Miles Manu will have a chance to go to the free throw line and add a few more points with the clock stopped here. Again, 8 seconds to go in this contest, and the Warriors with a 15-point lead.
Certainly a change from the start of the game, as we didn't see as many points being put on the board. But now in the final, 10 seconds of the game, final minute of the game, really, we're seeing a lot more points put on the board by East Hampton as they're trying to close the gap just a little bit to help.
Second free throw falls as well, 69-56, 8 seconds left. East Hampton, they will press. Clinton looking for some help, gets it out to Hines. Hines puts up a long three-pointer with 5 seconds left. Not really sure why he rushed that shot. It'll be Moody at the buzzer. That won't go, and that's where things end here in Amityville. 69-56, your final. Warriors on top. Amityville improves to 2-1 on the season. Meanwhile, East Hampton falls to 0-1, their first game of the season. And a very impressive win for the Amityville Warriors once they started putting things together with about 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, wow, I mean, pretty good almost comeback for East Hampton. You know, we didn't see a lot of points from them for a little bit in the second half, but we started to see a lot more energy from them in the fourth quarter.
Post-game show is coming up in just a few minutes, but we'll keep it here right now as we hope to hear from Janiah Barton on the sideline with Coach Agostino to get his thoughts on a very good win. But you see today what Amityville can do when they get hot offensively. A couple of huge runs in tonight's game that ultimately put Amityville over the top.
I mean, some pretty big runs by Amityville. A 13-0 run in the second and third quarter to bring them into the second half, and a 15-0 run in the fourth quarter, which ultimately secured the win for Amityville.
And that's how you get the job done. We always say how basketball is a game of runs, and tonight the runs belong to the Warriors. Their last contest against Mount Sinai, they were beaten down with some of the big runs that Mount Sinai had. But tonight, once the Warriors found their footing, they were able to really control the pace of this game. Again, we're still hoping to be able to check in with Coach Agostino. He's currently talking to his team in the locker room. So while we wait, we're going to send it to break. But don't go anywhere, as Aaron and Christian will have the post-game show, and again, hopefully Coach Agostino as well. Final score here in Amityville. The Warriors 69, the Bonackers 56. Amityville improves to 2-1 on the year, while East Hampton loses their first contest of the season. Post-game show coming up right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
Coach Agostino, the head basketball coach for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Basketball Network.
Welcome back to the Amityville Broadcasting Network for your post-game show. Once again, I'm Aaron Kruder, Christian Chicos. We are here in the Fred Williams Memorial Gym. What a game that we just saw. Amityville ultimately won 69-56 against East Hampton Bonackers. It was a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think it was an amazing game. I think we really saw some explosive movement from Amityville in the third and fourth quarter. But it was definitely a contrast from the first half where we saw a little more slower-paced game on the court.
I agree. I mean, it was pretty slow pace at the start, but we saw especially in the second quarter, the East Hampton started off with a 6-0 run, but Amityville quickly answered with a 9-0 run of their own, and it kind of just went up from there, a little back and forth for scoring, but Amityville had a 10-0 run at the end of the second quarter, so that ultimately secured their win. Now we're going to send it over to Janai Barton for our post-game interview with Coach Dak Agostino.
So what did you do differently from last game?
Well, I think our defensive intensity was much better in the third quarter. You know, we like to call that our killer quarter. We came out playing really well, played better defense, easier baskets on the offensive end.
All right. What do you find to be the most challenging thing about trying to get all these boys on the same page?
Oh, that's why it's so early in the season. We're going to be a different team by playoff time, but we got to get there. So it's one game at a time. Got to keep practicing hard, keep playing hard.
Thank you so much for your time. And back to you.
Thank you, Janaya. What an insightful interview. Always lovely to talk to their coach, Dak Agostino. Always a pleasure. But we're going to continue. Amityville had some really good runs. As I was saying, they ended the second quarter, the first half, with a 10-0 run of their own. Completed that into the third quarter, combined that with a 13-0 run until East Hampton broke that with, just some scoring. And I'm just saying, these big runs by Amityville is really what secured their win today, because they were kind of slipping in the first quarter, but ultimately they focused up and they had these runs that secured them their win.
Yeah, I feel like Amityville's offense really came through the second, third, and fourth quarter, as you saw them keep making plays. You saw them, they kept a lot of pressure on the ball at all times, and I think that got into East Hampton's head at some point, because you saw their defense start slowing down a little. They became a little more lax, and that's what allowed Amityville to really thrive later on.
I mean, we saw a lot of there was at one point a 20-point difference in score between East Hampton and Amityville, although East Hampton closed that just a little bit, not enough to win, but they did have a little bit of a comeback in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. East Hampton also had a good offense. I feel like they had a lot of team chemistry, especially, like I said before, with the long-range passes.
Yes.
They would confide in each other, but they just weren't able to capitalize it as much as Amityville was able to capitalize on their team chemistry. Amityville seemed a lot more lethal with the ball compared to East Hampton, although East Hampton was able to make those opportunist plays, and they had players such as number 1 from their team, which seemed more like an anchor, but Amityville also had that in number 10 with Fly.
I mean, Flythe, he had a good run in the second half. Had about 4 points up on the board. But we also saw some really good scoring from Takai Mason. A lot of points on the board in the fourth quarter, adding on to that 15-0 run that ultimately secured Amityville their win. Which I want to talk about the fourth quarter. East Hampton opened up initially. Aaron Brito, who we saw a lot of gameplay with in the fourth quarter from East Hampton, he opened up with a 2-pointer, but ultimately Amityville was able to go on a pretty insane run. I mean, just watching that in real time, every time they got the ball back every time East Hampton tried to score, their defense was on point. They would get that ball back every time. We saw a lot of teamwork as well with their passing to each other. I remember in one instance they had a turnover, and we saw Tristan Trellis go back near the net, pass it to Clinton. Clinton got it up, and Dickerson ultimately he got the 2 points for the team, and that was pretty good to watch because, as you said, they're a team, and although we saw arguably some more passing with East Hampton, but we did see that with Amityville too, and especially with that specific play right there, you can see that they trust each other.
Yeah, Amityville's offense was just really performing this game. Something I noticed was in the first half, East Hampton's offense was really putting up numbers, and they were faking the ball a lot more. but they stopped doing that in the second half, and Amityville was able to catch on to that. They were starting to intercept the ball a lot more, and they were starting to be a lot more aware of what East Hampton was doing. It seems to like they just started to feel the pressure on East Hampton's side, and Amityville wanted to capitalize that as much as possible.
Thank you. So what are your final thoughts on the game here today, Christian?
I think it was an incredible game with some incredible players. Amir Dickerson definitely putting up some numbers, but I think his name was Mason Jefferson, number 1 for East Hampton. I think he really did good to shine on his team, even though he wasn't like an incredible offensive player, but he was definitely an incredible leader within his team. It was just an explosive game in the second half and a slower game in the first half, which really threw me off guard, but it was still an incredible game nonetheless.
I agree. So thank you again for tuning into the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Our next broadcast will be Thursday for the girls basketball game. Tip-off, we will start at 5 p.m., so make sure to be there. Again, my name is Aaron Kruder. This is Kristen Chicos. We're again here in the Fred Williams Memorial Gym. Thank you for tuning in. Final score, 69-56. Amityville did win over East Hampton. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Go to AmityvilleWarriors.com for upcoming broadcasts and events. This has been a presentation of Warriors Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.